Do I look tired? Yes. Did I get a lot of sleep last night? Yes. Is that my laundry in the background? Yes. We're productive, but not necessarily looking our best. Okay. Megan is driving to Pennsylvania right now, so I can't talk to her on the phone. So I'm gonna give her my movie review of Longlegs. I saw this last week, knitting again, and I went in not really knowing much about the movie. So I guess I knew that there was a lot of hype around the movie. The movie theater was like super full, which it was weird for like middle of the week. I would have expected that for like a weekend. Anyway, so I sit down and I have my knitting with me, and there are these girls sitting next to me, and they're like, "Love that vibe for you." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, thank you." So movie starts, terrifying opening scene. I was scared. It felt like I'll just spoil the whole movie. Like, it's just like a girl walking outside because she's a car in her driveway, and then there's like a creepy ass man in the background, in the back of her house, in the backyard. Wow, I cannot talk. And he's like, "Hi," and he looks terrifying, but you can only see like the bottom half of his face. And it's Nicolas Cage, and he's Longlegs. No, the movie never explains why he's called Longlegs. I don't care. It bothers some people. I personally don't care. Maybe the movie did explain it and I missed out. Who knows? But basically, it's about this FBI agent who's like, a rookie just starting her career. And she has kind of a little bit of psychic abilities. Like, the FBI makes her take a test where she has to guess numbers 1 through 100, 0 through 100. And if she gets it right, like if you get a certain number right, then you're kind of psychic. And her test, she got like half of the numbers right. So they were like, "Well, you're half psychic." So the FBI is like kind of using her intuition to help track down certain serial killers. And so the thing is, there's this serial killer named Longlegs who, by all means, like, people don't really know how he works because he has like multiple murders associated with him, where a father will murder his entire family and then kill himself. So it looks like, the father did it, but the common denominator, like the common thread between all these cases, is that there's a letter left at the crime scene by someone named Longlegs who's using like a Zodiac style code, which is, so they're trying to figure out who that is. And so the girl's investigating it, and there's like absolutely no DNA evidence that Longlegs is there. She's like, I don't think he was ever even on the crime scene. Like, I don't think he was there. And her boss is like, yeah, you're probably right, because we haven't found any evidence. So she's like looking for him, and like more murders are happening. And she realizes that all of the daughters who get murdered have birthdays on the 14th of a given month. And yes, of course, the main character, her birthday is on the 14th of a month. And all of the murders occur within 6 days before or after the 14th. So she's like, that's probably something. And she, like, I don't know, figures out that he's like drawing some weird satanic symbol with the dates. I don't know. I don't understand Satanism, but that's okay. So she's like looking for him, and then Nicolas Cage plays Longlegs. And I really like how people describe him because he looks like he's Mr. White Christmas, he's Mr. Snow. He looks like the Ice Meister, the Cold Meister from A Year Without a Santa Claus. He looks like that. He looks like he got way too much plastic surgery by someone who was also getting plastic surgery while they were giving plastic surgery. It's just botched job after botched job, and then he was drained of blood. He's so pale, it's just weird. I appreciate how creepy he looked though, and they don't make like showing his face a huge deal. Like in the beginning, you can see like the bottom part of his face, so you're like, wow, this dude's creepy, because you can see like this much, and then like his face like shoots down for a second and you see it, but only for a half second, so you can't even register what you saw. But it was terrifying, and a whole thing with that. And so he's like walking around in the movie and he's just being a creep or whatever. And then, spoiler, turns out he worships the devil, and also he like makes dolls, like big porcelain dolls. And so he makes a porcelain doll of each girl in the family that he's targeting, and then somehow gives the doll to the family. But there's like, I don't know, like a demon inside the doll that possesses the dad and gets the dad to kill the whole family. And it's like, okay, long walk for a short drink of water. And so that's how he was like doing it. But then they're like, but who was his accomplice? Because there's none of his DNA on the crime scene. So somebody had to be delivering the doll. What is this? And like the whole time, the main character, she's like looking and trying to figure things out. Also, Longlegs is creeping her out the whole movie. Like one night she's at home minding her own business, and then she looks out the window and she can see a guy in the woods outside her house, which, by the way, if you're a young woman afraid of serial killers, don't live by the woods. Live in an apartment building. Don't own your own house in the woods. That's just a recipe for disaster. So she like goes outside to stalk him with her gun, as she should, and then you can see that he like gets into her house and he like leaves her a letter or whatever, and it has like a happy 9th birthday card for her. Weird. So you find out that she was supposed to be one of the girls when she was a kid, but then her mom convinced Longlegs to spare her daughter, and in return, the main girl's name is Lee, I just remembered that. Lee's mom basically made a deal where she would be the accomplice who would deliver the dolls to families and then watch the whole family get brutally murdered. And she would like deliver the doll to the family by being like, hi, I have a gift from the church. It's a porcelain doll that looks exactly like your daughter. That makes no sense now that I think about it. Like, Mom, if you're watching this, and you better be, like, if a stranger knocked on the door and they were like, hey, I'm from the church and we have a prize for your daughter, and they whip out a giant 4-foot tall doll that looks exactly like me, would you even let them into the house? Like, and I'm not blaming these families, right? Like, that is something I suspended my disbelief for a whole week, because I just realized how weird it is that nobody was like, shouldn't we not let a stranger into our house who has a perfect model replica of our child? So I ignored that. Still did. I don't know why. But yeah, so like her mom does it, and then I think the movie ends with like Lee killing her mom and then saving a girl. It was good. It was scary. I have found though that like horror movies scare me when it's something that can actually happen. So I definitely considered leaving the theater, but then when I realized they were talking about devil worship, and like there are certain scenes where you can like see the outline of Satan in the background, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's not like an actual serial killer, it's not an actual like real person, it's like magic or whatever. And then I was able to like calm down and enjoy the movie. Like, had this been like a real serial killer, like somebody who could have actually done this, I think I would have left the movie because I would have been too scared. But yeah, it was good. I would recommend it. I think it is scary, but not like horrifyingly way too scary. Oh my gosh, I'll never watch it again. But yeah, it was good. I do like some of the like, they had some like subtler things that they did that I enjoyed. Like with the whole like Satan in the background thing, there were certain scenes where you could just see the outline of Satan, and it wasn't like a super overt like, oh yeah, the devil's here. Like there's one scene where Lee's going to a house where the family's about to get murdered, and as she closes the front door, you can like just barely see the outline, and you're like, that's a really cool like subtler move that I just think like artistically or whatever made the film more interesting. But yeah, overall it was good. Scary. Nicolas Cage is really terrifying, and I think that the main girl did a really good job of acting. But I'm not a good judge of acting, so who am I to say anything? And yeah, if you want to watch it, go ahead. I did just spoil the whole thing, but that's on me. And yeah, hope you have a nice day.